What's happening, everybody? It's your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I'm back once again with something a little bit different. Yo, I was on Facebook a couple of days ago, well, throughout about a couple of weeks, I would say, and I've been rather inspired by some good friends of mine, J.R. Bang and Cam Pruitt. Now, J.R. Bang and I used to co-host Educated Insanity together back on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com for like 3 years, and Cam and I met through J.R. Bang, and we've been rocking together, we've been the homies, and what they've been doing are the 10 most influential albums on their lives. Now, of course, they've been going in order, but I decided to do my most influential albums of my life personally. And I wanted to share those with you so you can share those with everybody else. Alright, now these are in no particular order, because if I'd have tried to put them in order, I've been raking my brain for almost 3-4 days. But these are just albums that have influenced me personally the most, alright? We're going to start off with Redman, There Is a Dark Side. Yo, I have been a fan of Reggie Noble for years. This album got wild and crazy. He was a man that was still doing skits on albums when those were a thing. And the whole album, for the fact that it was a red CD in a red case with a red album cover, it was just like, it was engaging. The voices, using the synthesizer for voices. I love this album. Every time I can find it, I recop it, then I lose it again. So we're gonna move on to the next one. In the Redmanish family, if you would, or I'd say he's part of this family. Wu-Tang Clan, Into the 36 Chambers, man. The album that introduced us to the legendary, iconic hip-hop crew. From the beginning, from the mystery of chess boxing, going down to the skits of torture over the Method Man, which I had a chance to meet recently and work with, super dope. That album influenced me so much. There's not a person I can think of that's old or new right about now, not new like kids, but millennials, who don't know Cream, who don't know Cash Rules Everything Around Me, Cream, Get the Money, Dollar Dollar Bill, y'all. You know, I could rap the lyrics and everything, but I don't want to do it right now. But that's an album that has influenced me. I'm not going to go into full depth with these because I want to keep this relatively quick. I want you all to be able to get to and share your top 10. The next one for me, now I'm a blended, eclectic version of music. Now this is going to be mainly 90s R&B and hip hop, 90s, 2000s, or whatever the case may be, but it's going to be a blend of those. Jill Scott's Words and Sounds Volume 1 that introduced us to Jilly from Billy. If you follow me on the Trusty SIDEKICK podcast, anything I do, you know that watching Jill Scott on Black Lightning was one of the greatest things for me, because I've been a fan of her since this album. To see her in film and movies, I love what Jill Scott brings, the vibe of R&B with poetry, with a bit of hip-hop, the legendary Roots crew, produced by, I think she was discovered by DJ Jazzy Jeff, man. It is just beautiful, this first album. There is not a time this album can calm me down and put me in a mellow place whenever I'm stressed out or just feeling overwhelmed by things. So Jill Scott, Words and Sounds Volume 1 is definitely within my list. Next, I like this movie so much. I love this movie. I still watch this movie to this day when it comes on, except when it comes on BET with all the horrible edits, because it takes away from the film. And that's the New Jack City soundtrack, man. That movie is so impactful for how it talks about the crack epidemic of the 80s. Nino Brown, played by the one and only Wesley Snipes, Alan Payne, who plays G Money, Ice-T, Mario Van Peebles. It's so amazing. But the soundtrack gives you Christopher Williams at the end, I'm Dreaming, Living for the City by the OJs and Truth. It's just so much, so many melodic sounds from the past at that time and the present as well as the time are brought together, and that soundtrack is phenomenal. So that's why New Jack City is on my list. Another one for me, I've always grown up, as you know, as a hip-hop fan. I keep telling everybody because of where I'm from, and my uncles were a big influence. Naming my one uncle who would always take me with him to go buy new albums, and I was the first one to hear it because we would play it in his car. We would always hang out, and for me, that was A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders. You know what I'm saying? Low End Theory goes on there, but Midnight Marauders was that truth. I just loved it. You can go ahead and check that album out for yourself. The next one, this holds a special spot in my heart because of one of the songs as well that my mom used to always listen to. And it's Tupac's All Eyes on Me. And it's a classic album no matter what. This album holds in my top 10. Tupac's All Eyes on Me was such a ballad and a homage to life, the struggle, and everything, and the evolution of the rap as we saw. So that's why this goes within my list. The next one has to be the second album, the sophomore album from the legendary hip-hop group from Atlanta, Outkast, and that'd be AT-Aliens. Man, me and you, yo mama and yo cousin too, rolling down the script on Vogues, coming up slamming Cadillac doors. Yo, Elevators opened the door for this album, and ever since then I became a fan. I followed along to Aquemini. I remember when they did what was one after Aquemini? I remember Speaker Box and The Love Below. I think I'm missing the album in between, but all the Outkast albums I was such a fan of, and it started for me with AT-Aliens. Next, I've been a fan of this man since his mixtape. Incognito. Yo, back for the first time by Ludacris. Chris Ludacris Bridges. Before y'all knew him as the rapper, the Fast and Furious dude, I'd always been a fan of Back for the First Time. This man took the old elements that had started to become a dying art form, as in skits on albums, and kept playing to them. And it was hilarious, the way he uses metaphors and his rhyming scheme and similes. And oh my God, it's bananas. The skit where he has the girl coming over to the house and he tell her drive down the road and she thinks she finna go to a mansion. It's like it's gonna be this big ass mansion. But yeah, we in that house on the side. You know what I'm saying? The little ass house on the side. Ludacris has been a fan of mine. I've been a fan of Ludacris, excuse me. I wish Ludacris has been a fan of mine. I've been a fan of Ludacris since I was like 15, 16, I think. No, probably about 16, 18, something like that, I guess. I can't remember my age right now. Another one for me, I still listen to this one because it was just something about this album that just, if you listen to it, it caught you. This is what I think, next to the first one, brought the world to this man, and that was DMX's Flesh in My Flesh, Blood in My Blood. The album cover, him dripping in blood, is alone just like, yo. You see about the tattoo on his back, on the back of the album cover, One Love for My Dog Boomer. Yo, I don't know how much I can tell y'all. The Damien skit, where it starts out where the Grim Reaper is walking through the hospital and picking which soul he's gonna take, and the mother is crying, and then you hear the rap, which is Damien talking to DMX, is iconic. And I mean, there's so many other songs on this album, but this album I will play over and over. I'm not just be real with y'all for a second, even more. I used to buy this album on the bootleg because I couldn't always find it in the stores. And there was always a good bootleg dude at your local gas station, a laundromat, who will always have DMX on a Memorex CDR. And you're like, yo, how much? And he like 3 for $5, 5 for 10. And you're like, man, let me go and get this DMX and some other things. So I would keep DMX. I actually had downloaded the album from my CD onto my computer, my old computer, and when my old computer crashed and I lost it. So I'm actually going to check another computer I have and see if I transferred it over. Last but not least for me, one of the most influential albums for me to this day, which would have been possibly my number one, I would be honest, this would have been my number one, is Erykah Badu's Baduizm. This is the album that introduced the world to Miss Erica Wright, aka Erykah Badu, Mama Dula. Yo, there's not, what can you say? On and On, Apple Tree, Other Side of the Game, just to name a few. Rimshot. This album is everything. This album can change the focus of anybody. This can change the mood. This can make somebody smile when they don't want to smile. This can make somebody calm down when they're enraged. This album can bring out that life. This album can make you vibe out, make you want to connect with places and elements you've never connected for. This is the album. This is my most influential album for me, all right? So those have been minus Erykah Badu in no particular order. And I want to hear your most influential albums on you. So let me know below in the comments. Like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, share this video, man. Let people know, yo, you going down a trip down memory lane. Your favorite album may honestly be something within the past 10 years. It may be within the past 5 years. So let everybody know below. Also, find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MrJaywashington. And while you're here, check out some of the other videos, man. Check out the inaugural episode of my new personal podcast called A Dad Apart. It's about fathers who are separated from their kids from one way or another, whether it be voluntarily, involuntarily, career move, or whatever the case. We're going to go more in depth about that, and I give you my story as a father. So I want you guys to check that out. Also, make sure you check out Bill and Ted's review. They're coming back with a Bill and Ted 3 and so much more. With that being said, I will holler at you guys later. Take care. I'm out of here. Peace.